Now, one of the biggest arguments that's made to support first past the post is that we as the British in general, supposedly we as the British, we like strong governments. We like to favour a strong government. We're very proud of our government system. It's a very old system, um, and it's seen us through a lot of arguably great successes. As a nation goes, you can say that we've done pretty well for ourselves at the expense of many other people, um, and we've done that through a democratic system that uses a House of Lords and a House of Commons, and they've got to be some of the oldest in the world by quite a long way. Now, we like strong government. We also like strong government because we have supposedly, we certainly used to, arguably, we have a lot less of a strong civil service system, a strong meritocracy within the civil service. That's to say that we have quite rigorous tests that we encourage and we pay well, very good, very clever, very geeky people to go into the civil service who are going to dedicate their time and their effort and their brain power and abilities to a very highly functioning bureaucracy and just the supporting network that when Parliament make a decision, they can then implement these policies. They can support government and Parliament with the various levels of knowledge and information that allow us to have a very strong and robust political system. So we favour strong government like that. It almost doesn't matter that we don't have much variety in Parliament, because even if the one party comes out with an unpopular policy, we've got a decent civil service that will make the best out of that policy and implement it very well. So we support a strong government, and this is in direct contrast to America, for example, who are not so keen on strong federal systems, much more keen on individual liberties and on devolved powers through their state systems and county systems. Um, they have a lot of powers that are devolved to smaller political authorities. We don't like that very much. We have certain levels of devolution. It's complicated. But in general, the consensus is, supposedly, the consensus from the political elite is at least that we favour a strong government. And first past the post, in general, is supposed to support that because it supports a two-party system. It doesn't support smaller parties coming in and taking away little bits of power and authority from the big parties. It ensures that the big party usually ensures the big party has an overwhelming majority in Parliament, which will in turn allow them to make decisions without much opposition. Labour is very much in that position right now, with 412 seats. Their majority, they can afford to have a full-on rebellion in their party. They could have a whole load. They could have the whole of Scotland and the whole of Wales and their Labour MPs going against the party, still have a few stragglers that go against the party, and still pass a law or rule that Keir Starmer and the cabinet want to put through. And this is kind of what they like. If every single other politician in Parliament says no, we don't like it, it doesn't matter. The policy will go through. And these are supposedly, we're told, this is the advantage of first past the post. This is what we want from our political system, and this is why we have it. Now, I personally do not agree that that is a very decent way of running things, especially where we just flip-flop from one side to the other between Tory and Labour. And then the argument against proportional representation is, without that strong government, these PR system countries don't get anything done. They don't have a strong government. They're not able to enact the policies that they want to enact. Now, again, really, I mean, yeah, there are isolated cases in countries where, take Belgium, for example, that can go without a proper government for years in a row, because there's no the parties are not able to come to agreements and to form strong alliances in order to then form a government. The country is still going. The economy is still pretty strong. The people are still relatively happy. They still consider themselves to be in a democracy, in a functioning democracy, despite the fact they don't have an actual government. Now, in most countries, all European countries, for example, use various forms of PR. We're the only ones who use first past the post. Most of them are doing pretty damn well, despite the fact they don't have a PR system. Happiness and satisfaction with politicians and the political system in various countries such as Switzerland, Denmark, various Scandinavian countries, is huge. People are very happy with the way their system works. They're very satisfied with their politicians, and every single election, there's usually some rejigging between the different parties depending on who does well, who doesn't, who's got what policies, who doesn't. They negotiate, they form alliances. They could even change on a policy by policy basis. When there's an election in Parliament, they might change their alliance so that these parties come together and vote for this. Then in the next decision, the next party's new group come together and decide on that. It does work, and it means that the people feel like what they say, what they think, what they believe in, what they want to be represented in their government is represented in their government. That seems pretty sensible to me. But